Hello everyone and welcome back once again. So through this video I'm going to start the drone series where I'll be showing on how to build your drone and about different components of the drone, the way they work, and finally I'll be conducting a number of flights with different flight modes. So in this video I'm going to talk about all the components, and in the later videos I'll be describing all these components one by one, and finally I will be conducting a number of I will be doing a number of flight tests, and I'll show you different flight modes and the way they work. So right now I would like to describe all the components that I've used here. So as you can see, first of all, this is the entire frame of the drone, and as you can see it's a S500 frame. That means the wheelbase is 500 mm, and as you can see all the components are embedded into the drone. So first of all, as you can see, as the motors, I have used the DJI's 2212 920 kV motor, and as the propeller, I have used the self-locking clockwise and counterclockwise propeller set. It's 1045, means it's a 10-inch propeller. As you can see, I have used the Dshot ESCs, the Hummingbird's Dshot 20 ampere ESCs, which is below the arm, which is tied below the arm. And there are two options. You can use the one-shot or the trivial ESCs and the Dshot ESCs, but I suggest using the Dshot ESCs as these are opto ESCs. They usually don't heat up, and you get a better stability and a better performance of flight. As you can see, it's a Hummingbird Dshot ESC. Then as the radio transmitter, as you can see, I have used the FlySky FS I6S1, which is very user friendly. It's a little bit expensive as compared to the FlySky's FS I6X1, but it is way far more user friendly. It's a 12-channel transmitter, and the throttle is and the throttle comes with the self-centering option. I don't know how much useful that will be, but it really comes to work for me as I mostly fly the drone with the autonomous mode, with the loiter mode, which is the position lock mode, or the altitude hold mode. So in that case it's very useful, but if you're flying it in the manual mode, then the self-centering throttle doesn't come to work that much. As the battery, I have used the 3300 BT Lipo Battery, 3-cell battery. It's a 3-cell battery that comes with a discharge rate of 60C. It's labeled as 35C, but actually it's 60C. The labeling is not correct. As the charger, I have used the Imax B6 AC charger that comes with the built-in adapter. So you don't need to use any external adapter as long as you're using this Imax B6 AC Lipo charger. Well, it's not like you can only charge the Lipo batteries. In fact, you can charge different kind of batteries, like the lithium-ion batteries, like the lithium polymer, which I'm using here. As you can see, you can charge the nickel metal hydride, nickel cadmium, lithium iron phosphate, and many more types of batteries, the lead-acid batteries, and so on. I'll show you on how you can charge your devices, using charge your batteries using this balanced charger. I should say this a universal charger, in other words. And I'll be showing you the process, in the upcoming videos. Now let's get back into the drone once again. As you can see, this one is my receiver. It's a 12-channel receiver that comes with a PPM encoder, so it reduces the number of wires, from the transmitter and the flight controller. Otherwise, if for the FlySky FS I6X1, it doesn't come with the PPM encoder, so you need more wires. You need to use the PPM encoder additionally if you're using the other receiver. This one is the FS I810B receiver. Then the most important part, the heart of the drone, I should say, the flight controller. As the flight controller, I have used the RadioLink Pixhawk. And one important thing that I'd like to mention here is that there are different variants of Pixhawk. So it's important that you're using the RadioLink Pixhawk, because that is the one that gives you that offers you with the best performance. And it comes with fully autonomous advanced features. So this one is the forward part, as you can see, as the arrow is marked over here, and there are a number of pins and ports available in the flight controller. I'm not going to talk about them in details right now, rather in the later videos. Over here you can see that there is a piezo buzzer. It's a larger sized one. It comes with a flight controller that gives you different patterns of alarms, you know, at different states of the drone. And you can see that there is a safety switch over here. It's kind of a push button module, and it's used for safety features. I mean, you cannot directly arm the vehicle just powering it on. You have to press the safety switch, and then the vehicle will be ready for arming. The UAV will be ready for arming. Over here you can see the GPS, which is another important component for flying your drone in autonomous modes. I have used the RadioLink's SE100 GPS. I don't know if you can see the labeling right here. Yes, as you can see, it's from RadioLink. I'm facing difficulties in focusing my camera. It's from RadioLink, as you can see, and the model is SE100 V2. I believe it's quite clear. The model is SE100 V2. Now, what does the V2 mean? Well, the SE100 GPS comes with two variants. One is with the M8N chip, and the other is the M10N chip. So as the value of the number, you know, after M increases, like the M7, M8, M9, M10, in that case, the stability or the performance of your GPS also increases. It happens that you will be able to connect with around 20 to 25 satellites within a fraction of seconds, just after powering up your device. But if you're using other modules like the Neo 6M GPS module, Neo 7M GPS module, the M8N GPS modules, in that case, it happens that it takes a lot of time to connect with the satellites. But in my case, it happens that I'm getting connected with 16 or 17 satellites indoor, and as I'm getting the vehicle outside, I can connect with around 25 to 26 satellites within a fraction of seconds, you know, just after powering up the device. And over here, as you can see, that I have a cell checker that alerts me about the cell voltages of my Lipo battery. And if the voltage is going below a threshold value, as you know, the safety voltage per cell is 3.7 volt. If the voltage gets below that safety voltage, then the cell checker will start giving me an alert, a beeping alert, I should say. And below you can see that there is a strap that will be holding my battery. And inside this box, inside this kit, towards the end, there is the power module that will be used in order to supply power. As you can see, here is the power module. The power module would be used in order to supply power to the flight controller, because I'm using the non-BEC ESCs, which are very stable, and you need to give additional power, you know, to the flight controller, external power to the flight controller. But the battery comes with 11.1 volts, but you can power the flight controller with 11.1 volts. So the power module converts the voltage to 5 volts or to the desired level of the flight controller, and feeds the flight controller with the optimum voltage. So that's all about different parts of my drone. And of course you need multiple accessories as well. And as the telemetry, I will be using the ESP8266 Node MCU. I have updated the ESP8266 Node MCU with the new firmware, and I will be testing if the Wi-Fi telemetry works. And I will talk about that in details in another video maybe. And I have another frame bought. I got this from France. It's also available in our country. So this frame, and the difference between this frame and both of these are S500 frame. The main difference is that this one comes with the carbon fiber landing tubes, carbon fiber landing gears, but this one comes with the anti-skid landing gear. This is the main difference. Otherwise, this one and this one, both of these frames will be are completely same. There will be slight difference, you know, in appearance. So I believe that I've been able to describe all the components of my drone. And in the upcoming videos, I will try to discuss about all these components in details. For example, about setting up the FlySky FSI6S radio transmitter, about the balance charger, about the Lipo battery, about the motors and the ESCs, about the flight controller and the GPS, and about about different flight modes and so on. So I hope you'll be enjoying the drone series, as it will guide you properly, you know, on how you can construct your own drone and serve multiple purpose. We will also be, towards that, we will be trying to accomplish different kind of projects like surveillance type, autonomous delivery type, or I will try to incorporate artificial intelligence, computer vision based projects with this drone. So stay tuned for the next videos. Thanks for now.